Hello and welcome back to Slaughterhouse Customs. My name's Adam, that's Kev. In this video, we are going to go through the 3 cardinal sins of lining your camper van. There is so much misinformation out there and we want to set the record straight to make sure you can do your camper van conversion right the first time. So let's do it. Cardinal sin number 1, using a vapor barrier. Vapor barriers are one of the most contentious points in camper van conversion discourse. Use a vapor barrier, don't use a vapor barrier.
It's all a bit confusing, isn't it, Kev?
This has created a bit of a mystery around the subject and it's difficult to find proper answers. This is why you should not use a vapor barrier. This all comes down to sweating. So as your van changes temperature through the natural cycles of day and night, condensation will form within the cavities of your walls. This is guaranteed. It just will happen, no matter if you've got a vapor barrier or not. Vapor barriers can prevent more moisture getting in from inside your van, but it does also mean that that stuff that's in there already is not going to get out. So this can lead to moisture collecting within your walls, pooling, and then eventually rusting your van from the inside out. Exactly, Kevin, not good. Not having a vapor barrier means that your insulation can dry out, there won't be any pooling of moisture, and it will prevent rust from happening within your walls. Bam, now you know. Cardinal sin number 2. Using household...
Kev in the back of the van when you try to make a movie.
Using household insulation. Insulation is essential for every camper in every climate. If you're cruising past the dunes of the Sahara, it's gonna keep you cooler. If you're trying to sleep in the fjords of Scandinavia, it's gonna keep you warm. You should always insulate your van, but you need to be using the right stuff. But before we get to the right stuff, what's the wrong stuff? The wrong stuff is household insulation. The stuff you put in your... Exactly, the stuff you put in your loft. It's not good. Why? Because it collects moisture like a sponge. So just like that first one, this will lead to moisture soaking up, pooling in, and rotting out your panels. So what is the right stuff that you should be using for your insulation? We're talking that recycled bottle insulation. It has this really awesome property of being absolutely rubbish. This stuff, thank you, Kev. It has this awesome property of being absolutely rubbish at absorbing water. It will not hold on to it like that household stuff does. It's a little bit more expensive than your household stuff, but it's a small price to pay for making sure your van doesn't start rotting. Plus, you're saving the environment because it's recycled. Nice. Cardinal sin number 3, using too much sound deadening and too much insulation. There seems to be a little confusion over how much sound deadening and insulation you should be using in your van. And we're here to say, well, it depends. Every camper conversion project will be different. And your use of these tools need to reflect your personal build individually. Firstly, don't do 100% coverage of sound deadening. It's a waste of money. And after you've got to about 75%, it doesn't do much else after that. So it's just not necessary. Yes. Sweeties. Another thing to consider is weight. Sound deadening and some kinds of insulation can be really heavy materials. So you want to limit your use of these materials. If your build is absolutely massive, like a long wheelbase Sprinter conversion, you want to keep your weight limit under your van's appropriate level. Not only is it to an extent a bit unsafe, but you will also be powering through tons of fuel if you've got a really heavy van. Finally, you can mix and match on your sound deadening insulation depending on placement in your van. There are loads of different products out there that mix those two together into one sheet. Dead Sound Thermal Pro, for example, is what we use all the time. It's got 10mm thick insulation and sound deadening properties to boot. Nice. So you want to be planning out where you're putting your insulation on your van depending on location. So maybe you want thicker insulation in the roof because you'll lose a lot of heat out of there, or maybe you're incredibly tall and don't really fancy having a hunchback because you've lost an extra inch due to your thicker insulation. So it all depends on your wants and needs in your personal project. Have a little think, plan accordingly, and give it a good crack. They are the 3 cardinal sins of lining your van. So hopefully that's given you some information to work with. Hopefully you can get out there and do it yourself now and give it a crack. We want to make it as easy as possible for you guys, so keep an eye out for more videos like this. That's goodbye from me.
And from me. And if there's any points you would like us to emphasise, then just let us know in the comments.
100%. Also, we sell Dead Sound, so if you guys are interested in getting some of that, go over to our website. There's a link in the description. Like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers, ho.